From the most competitive conference tournament in the country, we welcome you to Bowl-O-Rama in Reading, Pennsylvania for the 4th annual Northeast Conference Bowling Championships on northeastconference.tv and PAC Network. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bowl-O-Rama. Danny Breslauer alongside Kutztown head coach and 30-year PBA pro Joe Ambrose. And Joe, a great tournament that we have here this week. Your school did host it, and today we are left with 3 teams. Our semifinal match between New Jersey City University, the Gothic Knights, the 5 seed, and the top seed, Fairleigh Dickinson, the Knights out of Teaneck, New Jersey, which were upset by Sacred Heart in the preliminary rounds yesterday. They await the winner at noon, and this is going to be a great semifinal.
Yes, it is. Both teams have played. I think these two teams have played each other about 200 times over the years, and there's a big rivalry in New Jersey between New Jersey City and Fairleigh Dickinson. So we're looking for a great match here, definitely.
Jersey City and Teaneck not too far apart in North Jersey, and both sides all set to go. It'll be lanes 9 and 10 for the semis, and Fairleigh Dickinson will start in lane 9 with Liat Wiesenfeld out of Holon, Israel, and she gets it going right off the bat with a strike. So the Israeli, who has been an outstanding contributor to this team with a nearly 20 pins per frame average. We are in a Baker best-of-7 format, and you can speak to it here, Joe, as to how much pressure it puts on these bowlers with Sonia Chirac starting things off for New Jersey City.
There's pressure on every shot. You're looking for any momentum swing that you can possibly get for your team, and to start out first frame strike is a huge advantage for Fairleigh Dickinson.
Their second bowler today will be Michelle Hunziker, and Hunziker, someone who yesterday struggled at points, and that's a huge strike to get her going.
That's a great double to start the match.
North Carolina state champ as a team member in 07 and 09, and a 2010 individual champ as well. And Sonia Chirac able to get a mark, complete the spare early for New Jersey City. So through the first 2 frames, Fairleigh Dickinson at 30 pins, and through the first 10 for New Jersey City. This is against Mike Lopresti, the 2-time back-to-back NEC Coach of the Year style. He likes to be more deliberate with Fairleigh Dickinson, but when you get a double quickly, you want to keep that pace.
That's right. If you have any momentum going with your team, you want to let it go, and that's why he's just going to let his girls go. They're starting out with 3 in a row now. That's a great start for the match.
Now the turkey comes from Brianna Carlo. Carlo sliding into the 3 spot today for Megan Kelly. Carlo, the senior from Clifton, New Jersey. Heavy New Jersey contributors, of course, to both teams. More the Middlesex County side for Frank Parisi's New Jersey City University, because he's from Carteret and recruited that area very well. So you take a look at Jolie Carrillo. She'll get her first attempt of the day, and Fairleigh Dickinson is on fire, and that's the first time they'll leave a pin up.
But that's okay. Leaving a 1-pin spare is not a bad thing.
Carrillo, the 3rd team All-American, according to the National 10-Pin Coaches Association last year. Amy Brem, who you talked about with me during warm-ups earlier, she's been a contributor to that New Jersey City team now for quite some time, the senior out of Middlesex County and East Brunswick.
Yeah, she's a former Kutztown player, transferred to New Jersey City after her freshman year.
Carrillo completes the spare, 4 straight marks for a Fairleigh Dickinson team that defeated New Jersey City yesterday in the prelims 4-1 in the winner's bracket after both won their first-round matches. Fairleigh Dickinson over Monmouth and New Jersey City over your Kutztown squad.
Yeah, we couldn't overtake them yesterday. They're both too good for us.
Brem completes, and it brings the highlight bowler of the day, if you will, to the table. The anchor bowler for Fairleigh Dickinson.
Danielle is really good.
Danielle McEwen, winner of the Team USA Trials, and you'll see a lot of that from McEwen today, all 10 down.
Yes, you will. You'll see her put a lot of balls in play. If you notice that all balls on Fairleigh Dickinson's side are in the 1-3 pocket, that means they're all lined up exactly where they want to be, and they just have to execute shots.
For a righty, that being the pocket for a lefty, the 1-2 side. New Jersey City sends Caitlin Schroeder ahead, and she'll have the largest of the spare opportunities that we've seen so far. Back to the top of the order for Fairleigh Dickinson here in game 1 of our best-of-7 Baker. That went Brooklyn to the far side of the head pin, but leaves the 10 on the right.
No, not a bad result for a poor shot, so she got away with that.
You'll hear them say, carry. You want it to get even further outside of that head pin.
That's right. Sometimes making a bigger mistake is a good thing.
There's your updated score. Fairleigh Dickinson really on fire through the first half. They're on pace for over 200.
Yeah. But like I tell my own team all the time, the game doesn't end in the 3rd or 4th frame. A lot of things can change late in the game, so you have to just make good shots, get good counts, make your spares, and see what happens after that.
Schroeder completes her spare. Finished top 25 out of 179 bowlers at your invitational here at Kutztown back on January the 28th. She's a St. Peter's transfer, also within the NEC, which is just a loaded conference.
Oh,
we'll discuss it throughout the course of the day.
The NEC is brutal.
The lefty, one of the Dono sisters from Carteret, and it's Kelly Dono. And
that was a good shot.
That pen's shaking, but it's
shot.
not going anywhere. Wiesenfeld has a chance to complete her 10-pin spare, and that's right on line.
So far, FDU is doing exactly what they want to do, getting 9 in spare and strikes and just filling frames up, and that's exactly what you want to do at a best-of-7 Baker format. You just want to put pressure on the other team and make them make good shots to beat you.
There's 6 frames for FDU there at 129. Kelly Dono, her spare opportunity, and that one slides into the gutter, so she'll get the empty frame, just the 9, and through 4, it's 64 for New Jersey City, so they're at a slower pace here than FDU. Michael Apresti in his 10th season for Fairleigh Dickinson. Frank Parisi, the 2-time National Coach of the Year in his 12th year at New Jersey City. Michelle Hunziker. She'll get 9.
She got that one out a little bit, but she had enough fingers in it to get it back to the pocket, at least get a 9 count. Not bad.
The Dono sister. That'd be Jennifer. Jennifer, the senior of the 2. Out of Carteret High School, and she has 3 200-plus games in NEC events this year in the standard format, traditional average.
That was a big strike out of the anchor player. At least set him up and give him a chance to put on a run and make a run at this game.
Jennifer, all NEC second team this year. Hunziker, the 1-pin spare opportunity, and it has been a game of marks so far for FDU. All over it.
FDU is a machine. They execute well. They're very well coached. They know exactly what to do.
They've won 2 out of the 3 NEC tournaments so far that have taken place since it began in 2009. And Chirac back at the top for New Jersey City will leave 3. And we wrap back around for Fairleigh Dickinson to Brianna Carlo, who had a strike earlier. First team All-North Jersey during her high school career. Carlo right at the head pin, but gets it anyway.
That's what I just said about making a big enough mistake where you can catch a strike.
The junior from Dumont gets a strike and continues the dominance of Fairleigh Dickinson in this game 1 of a best-of-7. And Chirac, a shorter release, but it works either way.
Yep, she got it done.
We'll see one later in Savannah Ziantara over on Sacred Heart.
Yeah,
That's about as violent as you can get on that release.
She's definitely a great leader for that team.
Jolie Carrillo. 4 200-plus games at the NCAAs in her career, and that's a reason
I've watched
why.
Jolie for 4 years, and being a senior, she's improved every single year. She works so hard at the game, and and the 4 and 5 hole FDU is just tough.
She contributed strikes in the 2010 NCAA final against Nebraska, which Fairleigh Dickinson won after, by the way, not winning this tournament.
Right.
After being the 5 seed in this conference tournament.
That's how good this conference is. It's crazy.
They were 500, mind you, in the conference that year, went on to win the national title. And here's the 5-time first-team All-New York Stater in McEwen. It's just automatic.
She's unbelievable.
She'll get 2 more there in the 10th after that strike, which already puts FDU up to 218, pretty much clinching this match.
I believe they actually have, mathematically, the best NJCU can do is, it looks like 212. So they can't even get there.
Brem only gets 1 of the 2,
but
so
the big thing is that they have to hang in there, and it's only 1 game. That's the beauty of this format. It doesn't matter by how much you lose or win. It's 1 game. So you just have to get back at it the next game when you change lanes.
For McEwen, it's like playing catch as she leads off with another strike at the anchor in the 10 frame. 2 so far. She'll have another. You got a good look there for New Jersey City University at Caitlin Schroeder, and right out the head pin will leave 2. And Schroeder, who averages about 16 pins per frame at the traditional average level. Things change when you get to the best-of-7 Baker, each being more pressurized.
You're absolutely right.
Cold-blooded is the way that Michael Preston described McEwen.
Baker is an acquired taste, to put it That's the only way I can put it, because this is something they don't do a lot of in high school before they get to this level, and it's about 65 to 70% of our matches is Baker, and it takes a while to get used to it, just throwing 2 frames a game and gelling as a team. It's a very difficult thing.
Schroeder an 8th frame spare to put New Jersey City to 121. Fairleigh Dickinson has finished its game 1.
248 is a phenomenal start.
That's a great start. In fact, better than anything they bowled yesterday. They bowled a 236 in a game against Sacred Heart and lost.
That's really sending a message to NJCU, like, you're going to have to really bowl to beat us today.
Kelly Dono, a strike, the southpaw. The Dono sisters being major contributors to this New Jersey City team. Fairleigh Dickinson, which was #1 in both the February and March editions of the National 10-Pin Coaches Association Top 20 poll.
Right.
Jennifer Dono here in the 10th. She'll get 2 more looks at it after that strike.
See, sometimes these little end-of-game rallies, even if you're on a losing end, can spur you on for the next game and give you a little bit of momentum going into game 2.
The way we'll do it today, it's a best of 7 that FDU, that team right there, will lead 1-0 in large part due to that anchor on the right, Danielle McEwen. So we'll pan over to Jennifer Dono.
Coach Breezy is doing what I do a lot, putting a sub in the 10th frame, trying to give another bowler an opportunity to get a look on the lane. So in case you need a sub somewhere along the lane or along the line, you can, somebody at least has seen what's out there so they can make accurate shots for you.
That sub was Nicole Baginski, the sophomore out of South River and a Cardinal McCarrick High School in South Amboy grad. So Baginski will be the bowler here in the 10th after Jennifer Dono had started the frame off as the anchor. Baginski the approach.
Now that was a shot that she was probably trying to get lined up to the pocket. The spare didn't really mean anything there, so she's trying to line herself up for later on in the match.
248 to 175. Fairleigh Dickinson defeats New Jersey City University in game 1 of our best of 7 Baker in the semifinals. Sacred Heart awaits Becky Craigling in her 20th season with that program.
Becky's done a phenomenal job at Sacred Heart. They have an incredible team.
Danny Breslauer joined by Kutztown head coach and 30-year PBA pro Joe Ambrose. And Joe, you said it, that was a statement game from Fairleigh Dickinson right off the bat with the 248.
Sure was. FDU has a tendency to be a very intimidating team. They have a high reputation for success and excellence, and whenever you play them that you're going to have to bowl your absolute best to beat them. They will not give you anything.
2 NCAA titles, 2006 and 2010. 7 out of 8 NCAA qualifications since it all began in 2003.
Right. If you notice, the left lane starts first. That's an NCAA rule. Left lane always starts first. Would have been nice for NJCU to get out with a strike, but 9's a good job.
Sonia Chirac again. Here's the all-rookie team member from Holon, Israel, Liat Wiesenfeld. 9 as well.
That was a good shot. She got robbed there. That was a good play.
Holon, a suburb of Tel Aviv. Wiesenfeld comes to Teaneck from there. Sonia Chirac.
That's just fine. Spare to start the match. That's just fine.
Chirac was the November 23 NEC Rookie of the Week and then completed that with NEC All-Rookie honors. And Wiesenfeld, also All-Rookie. So you see 2 of the better freshman bowlers in the conference leading off. That says a lot about what their coaches think of them.
That's correct.
Brem gets 9 as well.
That's okay. You get 9 or a strike every frame. That's okay. It's going to keep you in the match.
High 180s average for Amy Brem traditionally. First team All New Jersey while at East Brunswick. There's Michelle Hunziker from Cary, North Carolina. That hook just didn't come.
She got a break there, knocking out the 10, only leaving the easy 1-2 spare. It looks like there's going to be a little bit of lane adjustment going on. When you change lanes every game like that, you have to be cognizant of what's going on in each lane.
Oh, and Amy hooked it. Missed that one pin spare opportunity.
That's a tough miss there. That's where her team has to step up and pick her up.
We are in game 2 of a best-of-7 NEC semifinal. Baker Hunziker, the sophomore from Green Hope High School. FDU up 1-0 with a 2:48 in game 1. Hunziker could use the mark, and she got it.
Well done.
Response to the minus you saw before.
If you notice, they're using different balls on their spares than they do on their first ball. They have what they call a spare ball, a plastic ball, generally that goes really straight. So it just kind of takes the lane out of play a little bit on their spares. A lot easier to make. That's all right. 8's a good count. New Jersey's struggling a little bit to find the pocket so far. Probably a little bit of nerves.
You'd expect that. Caitlin Schroeder has been around this conference a few times with both St. Peter's and now New Jersey City. And Brianna Carlo, the entrance into the starting lineup today.
Shot.
And wow, has she been good. 3 strikes.
Brianna's a senior who hasn't played very much over the last, only till this year really, because FDU has been so deep. But she stepped up really nicely for Coach Lepresti.
And 2 straight regular season titles for Fairleigh Dickinson. And now the chance for Schroeder to complete her spare opportunity, and she does.
That's a good cover.
Very coachable, says Frank Parisi. Tremendous improvement. Very good at spares, and you saw why.
In this format, that's crucial.
Jolie Carrillo for Fairleigh Dickinson.
This is a big double here. If they can get out to a 20-pin lead here in the 4th frame, that would be huge.
And there is the double.
Solid. Very solid.
Carrillo, the leadoff and anchor at Paramus Catholic High School. 3rd in the state of New Jersey as a senior. And Kelly Dono strikes as well. So when you see one on the other
Kelly
side.
has a good look today. She's been in the pocket every ball. So if her and Jen can do it on the 4 and 5 hole, they can stay with FDU.
The NEC Bowler of the Year, back-to-back, Danielle McEwen. The stare down at the pins, and they all go down with that stare.
Nothing but net.
That's pretty much the only way you can put it for any of her roles.
I know.
Jen Dono.
That's a big double. That keeps them in the match. One shot can change one of these games.
And it does not count for more if sisters complete the double as they do there. They grew up across the street from Frank Parisi. So.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting.
Liata Vissenfeld back to the top for Fairleigh Dickinson, and it was a bad one that hooked.
Huge break. That's a huge break. She came over the top of that shot with her hand, missed her target, but a strike is a strike. It doesn't matter.
A strike, even though you go Brooklyn.
This is a big one here.
Sonia Chirac.
Nice. Great job. Great job.
Some doubt as to whether she'd start today.
New Jersey is letting them know that they're there. If FDU makes a mistake, New Jersey's going to be right there.
New Jersey City on 108. Fairleigh Dickinson on 128. Both teams through 6 frames. They're bowling at the same pace this game as opposed to Fairleigh Dickinson, which went out quickly, maybe strategically.
Maybe.
Mike Lepresti, a professorial type.
He's Mike and Frank are both incredible coaches. They both know exactly what they're doing.
Hunziker on the head pin, got the kick, but couldn't get the final one.
It's all right. The 9 count's good, but this opens the door for Jersey. If Amy can get a strike here, that pulls them to within about 10 pins. That changes the match.
Would be crucial for the veteran, Amy Brem. Missed the pocket.
At least she didn't leave anything she can't make. She can make the 1-2-4.
Went to the outside of the 3-pin instead of inside of it. Hunziker now with a chance to complete the spare.
The hardest thing in these matches sometimes for the girls is to keep their emotions under control enough to make the shots that they know they're capable of making.
And got it. Becky Craigling said yesterday in speaking to Mike Lepresti after they had both advanced the next day, and in fact Sacred Heart had just defeated Fairleigh Dickinson, I couldn't have made these shots when I was born. And Mike said, hey, excuse me, yes you could have. And she goes, well, there wasn't as much pressure.
Right.
And that's the point she was making, that there wasn't that competition that every single shot means something to your team, pressure. And in this case, Brem not completing that could mean that FDU jumps out to a 2-0 lead, which is tough to overcome.
Which is going to be very difficult, which would mean that New Jersey City would have to win 4 or 5 games against the #1 team in the country. That's not going to be an easy task.
Good luck with that. They will get a little help from Carlo going right at the head pin and only knocking down 8.
That's all right. Notice that FDU has no open frames so far through 2 games.
Very important. Need your
marks. They are very good at filling frames.
They have filled frames. They have filled the pocket as well.
Yeah, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They're putting pressure on their opponent. There's no defense in the sport, but that's your defense, is you got to put pressure on your opponent. You got to come out and you got to execute shots and make them come back and beat you.
Now, this is Caitlin Schroeder's tendency. We see here that she gets 8. Only a 28% strike percentage, but 80% spares. So always around there.
That's huge.
Even if she won't get all 10 right away, she'll be able to knock the rest down. Brianna Carlo, speaking of a chance for the junior from Dumont to get her 2 more. All marks for FDU.
That means a lot. A 28% strike percentage is kind of on the low side. You're looking usually for over 40 at least for your Baker players. If you can get them in 45 plus, that's huge.
That was 61.4 sound.
That's awesome.
Danielle McEwen. Ooh, great opportunity there.
That's why she's NEC Bowler of the Year.
Schroeder nearly got the kick out to the 7, but to no avail. She'll get 9.
And I guarantee you Jolie's going to jump off the approach if she gets a strike here and just pump her team up.
Off 2 spares, Carrillo would like a strike, and she got it. And there is the little kick, not too much, all business-like right now in the semis for the #1 team in the country.
Well, FDU is smart. They're lined up. They know they're throwing well. They know they just have to keep doing what they're doing.
Kelly Donald's been flush. It's been pretty much all strikes for her too.
They're 4 and 5 are lined up. If they need to get the rest of the team going in order to have a chance in this match.
So a 152 through 9 for New Jersey City, a 195 through 9 for Fairleigh Dickinson, and not a bad person to have up. She of 61.4% strikes. Add to it.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. She has just gotten better and better all 3 years of her NCAA career.
The Donos continue to add to their strike total. Kelly, the 2010 NCAA Division III Bowler of the Year, Rookie of the Year, I should say. And Jennifer, first team All New Jersey and second team All NEC. But the accolades just continue for McEwen as she will be the United States representative after winning the Team USA trials.
That's a huge honor to be able to represent your country in a sport that you love to do. That's incredible.
And in speaking to the coaching staffs of both sides, no one loves bowling more than Danielle McEwen.
Really.
She's a labber, if you will. She'll have another opportunity to go 3 strikes in a 10th frame, which so far today we have not seen Danielle McEwen throw a non-strike.
I know.
And there were a couple times yesterday where she hooked it a bit, and it was almost like there was a little hitch in her giddy-up, but seems to have figured that out overnight.
She's just solid.
Oh, she got the kick, too. I mean, when everything's going your way, it's going your way.
That's one heck of a message, 248, 245 to start the match, but it's only 2-0.
It is only 2-0, and
total pins doesn't matter.
Jennifer Dono completes her spare. She'll get another roll at it. 248, 245.
191 is not a bad game in a Baker, especially with 3 opens.
So 245, 191, the final in favor of Fairleigh Dickinson. They take a 2-0 lead in the best of 7 Baker in the semis. 248 to 175 in game 1.
FDU is just performing at a super high level right now. You know, they know NCAA Nationals are right around the corner in a couple weeks, and Coach Lepresti is very good at getting his team ready at the proper time of the season, and they are absolutely ready for today.
He is the back-to-back NEC Coach of the Year, led the William Patterson men's and women's programs as well in the 80s and 90s.
Yes, he did.
Better than 80% winning percentage during his time as a coach.
That's unbelievable.
That is remarkable. Liat Wiesenfeld. All right, that's the worst start we've seen her give the team so far.
Right, that was a pocket shot that she just threw a little bit too hard, or maybe didn't quite get enough, lift in it with the fingers, and it just didn't quite come up.
Would like to give some dap to both your program and a member of New Jersey City's program. First, your program as a host, what it means to you to get to host this Northeast Conference tournament.
I think it's great for our program to host this. We're actually the first school besides Fairleigh Dickinson to host the conference championships, and to have everybody come to Pennsylvania and have our local fans and parents see what a high level of competition our conference is a huge thing.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, that may be the first open frame for Fairleigh Dickinson through 2 games.
It is. Like I said at the end of the game, the other game, it's only 2-0. it doesn't take much to change momentum in these matches.
And Sonia Chirac responded with a strike for New Jersey
This
City.
would be a huge strike here for New Jersey.
A double.
See, there you go. Now all of a sudden they've got a 20-pin lead, just like that.
Well, now Hunziker's going to have to respond, and Michael Presti had a talk with her yesterday after she missed a 1-pin spare opportunity right up front about keeping her footing correct.
Right.
Let's see what she does here, and that one looks right on line.
Yeah,
Just swung a bit on her.
Maybe just a little bit soft on the speed. You jumped on her, and she'll have the 4-pin.
Oil patterns were given to these teams 10 days ago. They knew exactly what they were dealing with,
right.
The lane conditions. Caitlin Schroeder looking to make it 3 and give New Jersey City some crucial pins.
All right,
they'll take the
counts.
2.
8 counts, okay.
We've got 54 right now is where they sit at the 3rd frame, whereas Fairleigh Dickinson's on 18, but still in the 2nd frame with a chance for Hunziker to pick up a mark.
It's a long way from over here.
It is 2-0 FDU in the best of 7. Baker, Hunziker got the spare.
It's a good spare. And New Jersey has a little lead in the beginning of the match. They want to just keep the momentum going and keep filling frames and put the pressure on Fairleigh Dickinson to strike and catch up.
New Jersey City University went to 7 NCAA tournaments in a row. Missed last year. Actually hosted in 2010.
See, that hurts. As a coach, when you get a double and then you follow with an open, it takes the life right out of your team. And you really have to, get together as a group and get it back.
And Schroeder could not follow up the double from the top 2 in Chirac and Brim. Now it's Brianna Carlo. Fairleigh Dickinson off a spare. And it got there for a strike.
Good shot.
Filled the pocket. Carlo, a crucial member of the team.
Kelly hasn't missed the pocket all day.
Automatic Kelly Dono has been. The lefty.
This is huge for Jen. Jen needs to come up and get a strike here, but I'm sure Jolie's going to have something to say about that here in the 4th frame in game 3.
So Carlo got the strike off the spare, and now following those 2, Carrillo.
Solid. Kick the 10 out. Nice little break.
Jennifer Dono, as you said, needs this one. That's right on the head pin. It looked bad from the start.
Yep, Mr. Target needs to make sure of the wood, make sure she gets the 3 pins on the right, and maybe give it a chance to make it, but make sure you get the wood because that's big on a strike.
Danielle McEwen, the 2011 NEC Championship MVP up at Elmwood Park, a 23.3 frame average that day, and right now it looks even better than that. We have yet to see Danielle McEwen without a strike.
She's got everything. She's not only lined up, she's carrying everything too. That's wow.
Whoa.
Wow, look at that.
Kicks all 5. She had her back turned to Jennifer Dono and didn't even think that she was going to get it, but that last pin kicked out.
But that's what you do. You hit the 3 pins on the right, and you get the 3 pin to go over into the 4-7, and you see if you catch a break and you make it, and they did.
And so the 4-7 went down.
That may come back to really help them. That might be a big momentum changer there.
As you see, FDU off 3 strikes. Wiesenfeld looking to make it 4. And Liatz got 9.
Right. So now it's only a 12-pin lead after that 9 count. New Jersey gets a double the next 2 shots. They're right back in the game.
Here in the 6th frame, Fairleigh Dickinson at 116. Off a spare and a strike. New Jersey City at 86 for Chirac, who is right of the head pin.
Tough spare, even though it looks easy. Tough spare to make under pressure. That's why you want to leave as simple spares as possible to make life easy on yourself.
Wiesenfeld the spare in frame 6 for Fairleigh Dickinson. Up 2 games to none in the best of 7 Baker semifinals here between Fairleigh Dickinson and New Jersey City. Sacred Heart awaits the winner in the final. The winner would have to beat Sacred Heart twice on lanes 11 and 12.
Not going to be an easy thing, the way they threw yesterday.
Over 200 virtually all day.
That's
Chirac with the mark.
So that gives FDU a 16-pin lead currently.
118-102. Back to your program, Joe, for a moment. The Golden Bears, you led them onto the lanes in the inaugural season 07-08 and you built an NCAA title contender really in the matter of 4 years. Something else is Hunziker will get her strike.
That's a big strike for FDU there.
You're just one of 8 teams to qualify for the national tournament last year, and you got a chance to face, oh, by the way, your conference opponent, Fairleigh Dickinson, right off the top.
I know. And they beat us in 7 games. We were down 3-2. My anchor, Kayla Jones, struck out the 10th. We took it to game 7, and we lost the 7th game. Actually, she had the match in her hand. If she carried the last shot, she left the ring in 10. And we went to the losers bracket and then lost. Well, we beat Central Missouri and then to survive, and then lost to the eventual champion, Maryland Eastern Shore.
Kayla's very accomplished career in the NEC ended yesterday. She did an outstanding job.
She's an amazing player. Going to be very much missed here at Kutztown. Here's an opportunity for New Jersey now.
As Carlo just got 8 on that first shot.
Here's an opportunity. Down 16 pins, a double cuts the lead to 6.
Carlo got 7 in the 8th. And now it's Schroeder. Right on the head pin, though. It's been that way for her pretty much all day. It takes off on her late and leaves herself 2 to the right.
She doesn't have a lot of ball speed, so she has to be accurate. And today she's just not hitting her target yet. But as long as she fills the frame, they're still in the match.
And that was Frank Parisi's point, is that her ball speed is not there. And that's why she has to be a spare converter, because the strikes are not going to be easy to attain.
That's right. Against us, though, she did have quite a number of strikes yesterday in the quarterfinals.
And that was quite the match as well. Went to 5 as Carlo gets her spare in the 8th. And we'll set up the back 2 for Fairleigh Dickinson, which have been so good in Carrillo and McEwen. Thanks for joining us on NortheastConference.tv via PAC Network.
Needs a spare.
And missed it to the right. That's crucial. An open frame. 8-1 to set 140 for the mark through 8 frames for New Jersey City, as opposed to 158 and building off plenty marks.
Yeah, now you're giving FDU a 28-pin lead with 2 frames to go. It's going to be very difficult.
FDU's had 7 straight marks after the open frame in the first. Carrillo looks to add and does so.
Solid.
Strike for her. That is where she started as a freshman in the NCAA championship. Not bad experience to have off the top.
Yeah, really.
Kelly Dono, that's the first time we've seen her leave the 7.
Like I said, she's totally lined up. She's been in the pocket all day. Her and Jen Dono in the anchor position are doing their job.
Must be nice as well for FDU to have Megan Kelly waiting on the bench just in case.
Really?
And Danielle McEwen continues the ring of strikes.
Has she missed yet?
Nope, she has not, to answer your question.
Unreal.
She is now at 10 strikes in a row. Dono will get the spare. The younger of the 2 sisters. By 1 year.
New Jersey's going to have to climb out of a 0-3 hole.
If I'm doing my math right, McEwen is on 10 straight strikes. 2 in this one, 4 in each of the last 2 games. With FDU up 2-0, looking for 11. It is the same motion every time, finally leaves a pin. So 10 straight strikes to start the day for her.
But every ball in the pocket. That's what she's good at, executing shots.
And Jennifer Dono has had the luck of a couple kicks here in the 2nd and 3rd games. And worth mentioning, and we'll get into him in some detail in between games 2 and 3, is Fairleigh Dickinson is about to take a 3-0 lead in this best-of-7 Baker, which is tough to come back from.
Sure is.
We've seen it happen, though. McEwen gets the spare and sets the final score for Fairleigh Dickinson at 217.
Yep, going to have a strike for 227. That's a tough 3 games to compete with. 248, 245, and possibly 227 to start with. Or 217.
Yeah, 217, the final score for Fairleigh Dickinson, as New Jersey City will use a substitute, Ashley Lane, to have her 10th frame opportunity, the sophomore from Brick Township, New Jersey. Directly on the head pin. We've seen that be the biggest mistake of the day pretty much across the board.
Right. All NJCU can do now is just get their girls together and try to come out with a good start in Game 4 and apply some pressure at FDU and see what happens.
We expected Fairleigh Dickinson, after losing yesterday, really, they did not expect there to be as good of a performance from Sacred Heart as they brought.
Coach Parisi is signaling to me that she's actually trying to find a strike line, so she may not make the spare. That's why she did that.
Well, she got one, trying to find the strike line, and Coach Parisi did turn to you and make an X with his hands.
That's a common thing that we do as coaches. We put players in, especially in the 10th frame for fill balls or extra shots, trying to maybe find somebody to take a spot or make a lineup. If you're about to make a lineup change, you're trying to get somebody in to throw a shot before they come off the bench, off the practice pair.
217-179, the final in Game 3. So Fairleigh Dickinson with scores of 248, 245, 217 to get us going today. Not bad.
That is a great start.
While we have them still around in this tournament, I want to turn the attention in New Jersey City for a second, and their assistant coach in Rusty Thompson, and what he's been able to do over the past few weeks.
Phenomenal coach.
The assistant who Frank Parisi says may be one of the best, if not the best, assistant in the nation.
I agree. He definitely is the best.
17th at the U.S. Open as a bowler just a few weeks back. That's remarkable. And in match play, for those that don't even know bowling too much, they'll know this name. He beat Norm Duke in match play. I mean, that says something.
Rusty is a very good player and is able to relay his talents into his players, and he's developed an awful lot of great college bowlers at New Jersey City.
Sonia Chirac being one of them, and there's a strike for her to start. It's the first time we've seen her get their game started with a strike, so maybe that's the momentum they need.
It's a good start.
Question is, will Wiesenfeld answer for Fairleigh Dickinson? Liat. She'll get 9.
Sometimes closing out a match is the hardest thing, even though it sounds like, well, you know, it's going to be easy because they're up 3-0, but sometimes getting a fourth game is not the easiest thing.
Brem looking to make it a double, and it hooked on her, but just enough to get it.
She made a big enough mistake that she got the Crary on the jersey.
To complete our Thompson point. Very technical, sees the game and sees everything in the mechanics and the lane conditions. So he'll be there and allow you to adjust when, especially when you're down 3-0. He can tell you in finding that strike line, as you said, which they did with Lane in the 10th frame of the last one. So maybe that adjustment is the reason why they have gone for a double in the first 2 frames.
That's right. This is a big one, too. Now he's just inserted her in the lineup in the 3rd spot.
It'll be Ashley Lane in the lineup now. Now that she has the strike line, did she find it? She did. Oh. With some help.
Huge break. Huge break. Through the nose, trip 310. It's not a common strike, but it's 3 on the board, and that's all that matters.
Hunza Kerr will try not to look at the other lane, and even so will respond with the same 10.
That's a good point, Dan, that you just said. You try not to look at the other team to see what they're doing. You try to focus on your own game, but it's so emotional at the college level that you just can't help it. You can't help look to see what the other team's doing because you know you have to beat them.
You see our official here today pacing around back there, making sure everyone's within the proper protocol.
Yeah, Kevin Adams is one of the best. He works a lot of our events that Kutztown hosts. He's really good.
And he's been on top of things, especially our lanes for today with the semis and finals, and an if necessary match, of course, that being if the winner of this one, presumably Fairleigh Dickinson, were to be able to beat Sacred Heart in the first one, there would be an if necessary on lanes 11 and 12 as well. Carlo.
Yes, one ball broke down.
The same mistake everyone's been making. She didn't get the 10 to trip out, though.
The lanes are starting to change a little bit, and now everybody has to make adjustments, and I know that's what Coach Lepresti was talking to his girls about. It was about making some adjustments on the lane, either making a ball change or making a move with their feet and their target to adjust.
He made sure to emphasize that his team is a deliberate, professorial, detailed approach. That's what they go about doing things.
That's very, very accurate.
Maybe the best bowler so far today for NJCU.
This would be nice to get this one for Jersey. That's huge.
And she continues. I mean, she's been outstanding, Kelly Dono. She's the reason why they're still around. And now it's 4 straight strikes and 90 pins through the first 4 frames to start Game 4 for New Jersey City.
One thing about NJCU is they never give up. They were down 3-1 to LIU yesterday, but before they played us, and they came back and won in 7 games. They are a tough team.
And Carlo gets the spare. And to that point, the loser's bracket is where they came out of. They went down there in New Jersey City in match 10, defeated LIU, coming back from 3-1 down to make it 4-3.
Right.
They were a frame away from being done.
Yeah, Brittany Hart for LIU, if she got 2 strikes in the 10th, New Jersey was going home.
That was it. So much for a ball and a frame, really all you need, right?
Yeah, 1 shot.
They say in poker, a chip in a chair.
That's true.
And Jolie Carrillo.
Jolie's trying to set it up for Danielle, who's been lighting it up.
For
break.
Fourth frame strike for
You can
Carrillo.
see everybody's ball starting to go toward the nose a little bit. Everybody has to make a little adjustment now. Ooh, that's a hard miss there. New Jersey's going to have to get it together quick.
Open frame for Jennifer Dono to give the first non-mark of Game 4 to New Jersey City. That comes from their anchor in Game 5. They're stuck on 116.
FDU executes so well. Sometimes when you play them, you just feel like you can't make a mistake. That's the impression that they give the other team, and that's why they're so tough to beat in a match play, especially best of 7 Baker in this format.
Danielle McEwen with FDU up 3-0 in that best of 7 here in the semis. 10 strikes today, a spare and a 9. And lane 10 has been kind to her.
Nice kick. Nice kick.
McEwen, 23 pins per frame average on the year. That may be bigger today.
That's unbelievable.
Chirac.
All right, she got the 9 count. But New Jersey needs, Fairleigh Dickinson needs this one to go ahead in the match.
They go for another open frame free game, which they're at through 5 frames as well.
1 open so far, right?
One
3
open,
games.
and it was the first frame of Game 3 from Wiesenfeld, who's now on for frame 6 of Game 4. She'll have a relatively easy spare opportunity here.
It still gives New Jersey an opportunity, but it's a really close game. It's only a 2-pin match.
We've only seen 1 or 2 true splits between either of these teams in 4 games.
I know.
And Chirac gets the spare.
All right, good cover.
It's been a very clean match across both sides, even with FDU up 3-0.
Right. No, New Jersey is not bowled terrible by any stretch. FDU is just bowling great.
You saw Wiesenfeld from Campus Kiryat Sharet High School in Cholon. And she gets her spare in frame 6, so FDU continues their stellar bowling in Game 4. Oh, the kick just was not kind enough for Brem.
She didn't throw the best shot in the world, but she got 9. That's all that matters. Just got to fill the frame and make the spare.
For those new to bowling, filling the frame means spare or strike.
That's a key statistic with us coaches.
Huge. I can already tell based on the way you're talking about it. And Hunziker fills the frame with a strike. Of course, once you strike, your score determined by the next 2 balls you roll.
Right.
Spare determined by the next 1 ball.
Good spare.
And Brem, who missed an earlier spare to the left, gets that one by keeping it just far enough right.
So New Jersey is clinging to a very slim 7-pin lead.
145-138 after 7 frames with Brianna Carlo on deck for Fairleigh Dickinson. In the 3 spot in the lineup.
Brianna could give FDU a 3-pin lead with a strike here. And set it up for Jolie and Danielle.
It's there.
That's huge. That's huge.
New Jersey City's no slouch, by the way. From
No.
04 to 07, they were top 7 in the NCAAs each and every year. But when you run up against a team in Fairleigh Dickinson that's been to the Final Four every time they've been in the tournaments.
I know. Okay. All right.
Ashley Lane will
Still got the
have a
9
1-pin
count.
spare opportunity. But it hurts when you're looking, and you shouldn't be looking, but when you're looking at the other side and you see 5 strikes and 3 spares through 8 frames for the other team.
I know. And Jolie Carrillo on the approach.
And Danielle McEwen behind her.
Yeah.
With potentially 3 chances to roll. Carrillo in the 9th. Got it.
Oh, that's huge.
Oh, that's monstrous. And McEwen coming up too in the 10th, and that could be her chance to bowl out the Baker. Lane needs this.
FDU is on a 228 pace. And Jersey needs to go off the sheet, as we say, when we strike out the game to have any kind of a chance. Jersey can go out for 225.
FDU's in the 10th, NJCU in the 9th, McEwen
This
here
one will
in the
clinch
10th.
it.
And Danielle McEwen is going to send Fairleigh Dickinson into the NEC final. Sacred Heart awaits. They'll have to beat them twice. And that is the heavyweight 1-2 showdown we were looking for, as Kelly Dono gets a strike herself in the 9th. And her sister will try to follow it up in the 10th, but it will be to no avail as Danielle McEwen, with just one non-strike frame through 4 games in this 4-0 win that Fairleigh Dickinson is going to post in the best of 7 Baker.
She's been unbelievable today.
Every accolade in the book. The back-to-back NEC Bowler of the Year. Bingo.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. To post 4 games like FDU just did, Sacred Heart better have their game today.
You're not kidding. As Jen Dono gets her strike. I know yesterday they did, so let's wait and see.
It's going to be an incredible match with those 2 heavyweight teams.
Sacred Heart at one point in the day hadn't bowled under a 207. McEwen, fluid.
Wow.
Every time it's the same motion. That's the most important thing in bowling, replicating the motion. It's just like in golf.
That's correct.
And for those that don't know, you're also a very accomplished golfer yourself, beyond being a longtime PBA pro.
Thank you.
Dono trying to put a capper on this for NJCU as she gets a strike, but FDU posts a 248, equaling their best of the Baker with their game 1 248.
That's disheartening. That New Jersey is going to shoot potentially 234 and lose.
And losing 4
There's not much you can tell your team after
row,
that.
huh?
Yeah, there's not much you can tell your team after that. They did not bowl poorly at all. FDU is just far better team today.
It's going to be an NTCA Executive Board matchup between Mike Lepresti and Becky Kregling.
That's true.
As Jen Dono will get a 234 for NJCU, but they will lose in Game 4, 248,
that's Jen's
234.
Final NCAA shot, as she's the senior.
That's right.
And she ended with a strike.
And we'll have some emotion from that. So Fairleigh Dickinson at 248, 175 in Game 1, 245, 191 in Game 2, 217, 179 in Game 3, and there's the 248, 234 in Game 4. Through those 4 games, in the best of 7 Baker, Danielle McEwen just 1 non-strike frame and got a 9 spare out of it.
Amazing. She hit the pocket every shot.
So Fairleigh Dickinson and Sacred Heart will play in the 1-2 championship game, with Fairleigh Dickinson being the number 1, having lost to Sacred Heart yesterday in a surprising 5 games. Really, Sacred Heart came out quickly, went up 3-0, and it was just too much for FDU to scramble back from. They know how to win ugly, and they know how to win like this,
yes,
and this was clinical.
Yes, they do. When you play FDU, you know what you're going to get. You know you're going to get a team that is very well coached, executes shots very, very well, and you're going to have to bowl your best to beat them. And they're not going to give up until it's mathematically impossible for them to beat you. And they give them credit. They did a great job. New Jersey City bowled well. They did 2 190 games and a 234, and then they go down 4-zip. That's just credit to FDU.
They face off in the Final 3 today in the 2012 NEC semis. Back in the 2010 NCAA Final 4, these 2 teams faced off at Carrier Lanes, Brunswick Zone, right down the street from my house there in North Brunswick. And
yeah, I was there. I saw that match. That was great.
And Frank Parisi said, he was the chairman of the committee that year, and he was the only coach ever to lose to a team in the semis and have to go back to being a chairman and hand over the trophy to Mike Lepresti the next day for winning the title. But he had the chance to do that, and today FDU eliminates them again with a 4-0 win in the semis in the best of 7 Baker. So it will be, I think, the match that really everybody needed and wanted to see again after what could have been an anomaly from Fairleigh Dickinson yesterday against the Pioneers. And it certainly wasn't an anomaly from the Pioneers and how well they bowled, but that'll be at noon, and those 2 will square off in the final.
And FDU is going to have to beat them twice, but they can't think that way. They have to do 1 match in 1 game and 1 shot at a time and take it from there, and I'm sure that they will, and they're aware of that. And like I said, Sacred Heart's going to have to bring their game to them. They're here, and they're going to try to win the conference, and that they're willing to play 2 matches against Sacred Heart if they need to.
Right, and Ralph Ventry of the NEC just reminding all these spectators that if Sacred Heart were to lose that Game 1 to FDU in the best of 7 Baker, we'd have yet another best of 7 Baker between those 2 teams. But this one was quick, this one was swift. Sacred Heart will have their chance to warm up over the course of the next hour or 2, and then at noon it will be the Fairleigh Dickinson Knights, the top seed, needing to win twice against the 2nd-seeded Sacred Heart Pioneers. There are so many storylines in that one, but we'll leave those for when that starts up.
Okay.
And that will be a great chance for us to discuss Mike Lepresti and Becky Kregling's squads. So for Joe Ambrose, the Kutztown head coach, and I'm Danny Breslauer, we'll be back with the championship and some intermission fodder for you as well throughout the course of the day here on NortheastConference.tv and PAC Network.